Bruchim haboim. Welcome everyone. We're about to begin Be'ezras Hashem together on Daf Lamed Dalid Amud Beis. Start with Daf Lamed Dalid Amud Aleph, 10 lines from the bottom. Our Mishnah teaches us that the burning of the Ketaris in the morning is performed before the burning of the Eivarim of the Korban Tamid Shel Shachar. Whereas in the afternoon, the Ketaris is burnt after the Eivarim is burnt on the Mizbeach. Says the Gemara, Omar Menohani Mili, from where do we know that this is so? Where do we know that indeed the Ketaris is burned between the Eivarim and the Nesachim in the afternoon, after the Eivarim, but before the Nesachim? Omar Rabbi Yochanan and Omar Kro, it says in the Pasuk, Keminchas haboiker ukeniskoi ta'aseh, like the mincha of the morning and its Nesachim you shall perform. Ma minchas haboiker ketaris kodemis l'nesachim. Just as in the morning the ketaris precedes the libations and nesachim, afkan ketaris kodemis l'nesachim. So too in the afternoon the ketaris precedes the nesachim. Ask the Gemara then, ima lahalon ketaris kodemis le'evarim. Then just as the morning we see that the ketaris is before the evarim, then let's be consistent. Then afkan ketaris kodemes le'evarim. Then in the afternoon, we should also then say that the ketaris is burnt before the evarim. Gemara answers, miksiv ke'evarei haboiker. Does it say like the evarim of the korban tamid shel boiker? No. Keminchas haboiker ksiv. In regard to the mincha of the boiker, does it say it shall be similar to? Keminchas haboiker v'lo ke'evarei haboiker. Just as the minchas haboiker, that we're saying is performed that the Eivarim is before the Nesachim, so too in the afternoon the Eivarim is before the Nesachim. But we are not saying that the Eivarim is, that the Ketaris is before the Eivarim in the afternoon like it is in the morning. That we don't learn out from this pasuk because it only says Keminchas haboiker, not Ke'evrei haboiker. Tana Rabban, the Gemara brings the following brisa. A machloik is how to understand where we know the nesachim are there indeed performed. V'niskoi revis hahin. It says in the pasuk in regards to korban tamid, v'niskoi revis hahin. The nesachim will be with a revis. Yilmad shel shachris mishal arvis. Here the Rabbanan say you learn out the morning nesachim with the korban tamid from the afternoon nesachim with the korban tamid. In other words, the Rabbanan are learning out that the psukim are referring to the afternoon korban tamid. So therefore, we already know nesachim is necessary for the korban tamid shel bein ha'arboim. From there, we shall learn out to the korban tamid shel shachar. On top of Lamed Daled Amud Beis, Rabbi is choylek, and Rabbi says arvis mishel shachar is the opposite. Learn out from the morning to tamid shel bein ha'arboim. Gemara says, Bishlam the Rabbanon, Hai b'tamid shel bein ha'arboim ksiv. It's very well according to the Rabbanon because the pasuk is referring to bein ha'arboim. So therefore, when we say the nesachim is on bein ha'arboim, then we have a precedent to learn out to the tamid shel shachar. Elo l'Rebbe, my time. But why does Rebbe learn out the opposite and say that you learn out from the korban tamid shel shachar to the korban tamid shel bein ha'arboim? Amar Rabbi bar Ula makro. It says in the pasuk, lekeves ha'echad. It said in the pasuk like to the keves, the one keves, in regards to the nesachim. Ezu keves shenemar boy echad. What is the keves that it's referring to when it says the one lamb? Says Rebbe, have oimer zet tamid shel shachar. That's a reference to the keves echad that's brought in the morning. And therefore, it's the nesachim that's talking about in regards to the korban tamid shel shachar. From there, we'll learn out to the korban tamid shel shachar, to the tamid shel bein ha'arboim. That is also a requirement of nesachim. V'rabbanan my echad. What do the Rabbanan do with the word echad in that pasuk when it says la keves ha'echad miyuchad shebe'edroi? It should be the choicest of the flock. That's the keves that should be used for the korban. V'Rebbe. He has another pasuk that teaches us it has to be a chosen type of lamb for the korban. V'Rabbanon, they have two psukim. What do they do with the two psukim? Chad b'choiva v'chad b'nedava. they have one posuk teaching me when it's an obligatory carbon, another one when it's going to be a voluntary carbon. They both have to be used from the choicest of the eder, of the flock. Vitzrichem, we need them both, because there's a svar to say when it comes to nedava, then you have to perform your nedava. It's a gift offering, and therefore you have to make sure that it's going to be of the best. Also, I might think then that's okay in regards to the voluntary offering, the gift offering. But we also need to be taught when it comes to an obligatory offering. An obligatory offering, I have to then pay off my obligation. That also requires a choice offering. So therefore, we have a necessity to then use both psukim to teach me that I need both for the obligatory offering as well as for the voluntary offering. B'choive as well as b'nedava. The Gemara now quotes the Mishnah, Im haya kohen gadol zoken or istenis. If the kohen gadol on Yom Kippurim is either elderly or he's particular finicky, he has a type of sensitivity, so then he can't toivel in the ice cold waters of the mikvah. What they'll do is they'll heat it up. They'll heat up either the Mishnah's Masha some water before Yom Kippurim, and Yom Kippurim they'll throw it inside of the water, taking off the chill, allowing the kohen gadol to then toivel in that mikvah. The Gemara now brings a brayse Tanya. Rabbi Yehuda Ashoshio shel barzel hoyu mechami me'erev Yom Kippurim. The brayse states over here in Rabbi Yehuda that they would take an iron piece of metal, and they would heat it up before Yom Kippurim. Umeitilin letoich tzoinen kadesh tafik tzinosan. Then they would throw it on Yom Kippurim inside the water. It will take out the chill of the water, allowing the kohen gadol to then toivel in the mikvah. Frag the Gemara asks, "V'haloi mitzarif." This is a problem mitzarif. You're being mesakein a kli because you're taking this iron piece and you're heating it up and then throwing it into cold water, which makes it stronger. So by strengthening it, it's a form of tikkun of the kli. Omar Rav Bibi said, "Shelo igia litziruf." Rabbi Yosef says it's not a problem because it doesn't get to tziruf. We're not talking about an iron piece that is so hot still that by the time you put it into the cold water, it's mitzaref and becomes then strengthened. Abai says no. Afilu tema shigil tziruf. Even if indeed it's so hot that it does get to the state of tziruf, it's not a problem. Why? Because it's the davar she'ein miskavein and mutter. Here, your intention is only to then heat up the water. You don't care that the iron piece should become strengthened. So the davar she'ein miskavein, and Abaye says, and that's mutter. He holds like Rabbi Shimon. Umiyam Abaye hochi asked the Gemara, but does Abaye really hold this with Hatanya? It says in the Brisa, besar or los, in regards to making the bris milah on the 8th day. So it says, besar or los soy. Afilu b'makom sheyesh shom b'heres yakutz. The fact that it adds the word bosar in the pasuk, which seems to be superfluous, comes to teach me even if that makom has a b'heres, which is normally prohibited from removing, but it's for then performing a bris milah, so then it will be mutter. Di Rabbi Yoshaya v'avinam bo kro lamali. The Gemara wants to look into this and ask, what do we need the pasuk for? Omar Abaye Rabbi Yehuda, according to the sheet of Rabbi Yehuda, says Abaye, the Omar davar she'ein miskavein is osir. So here we see that Abaye ascribes the bin of Rabbi Yehuda that davar she'ein miskavein is osir. So how can you say over here when we take this piece of iron, which is hot, and we throw it into the cold water, it's mitzaref, it causes it to become then strengthened. Why is that okay? Granted, it's davar she'ein miskavein, but Rabbi Yehuda Shita, and this is what Abaye brings, is davar she'ein miskavein is osir. Answers the Gemara, Hani mili b'kol Torah kula. When is that so? That's in regards to a daraisa, like the case of Baheres, of the bris milah. Then it's prohibited, davar she'ein miskavein. Aval hocha tziruf dirabanan hu. But over here, tziruf is merely dirabanan, because over here it's not yet a kli, it's a piece of iron. And by certain the piece of iron, granted it's a form of tikkun, but it's an iser dirabanan. It's not a makeh bepatish where you have a kli and you're now strengthening that kli, which would be a problem the rise of makeh bepatish.